What is going on, guys? Welcome to Big Beard and Friends. This is episode 231. So that's 231 weeks of me doing this passion project. And if you've been here through the whole way watching me, that's awesome. I don't expect anybody to have watched every single thing that I do, but if you have, you're awesome. And if you have been here since the absolute first, all the way to now, hats off to you if you've been one of them. Guys, as always, on these Friday evenings, these Friday nights, excuse me there, I had a burp. I just want to say that whatever you're going through, or whatever you're going, whatever season is going in your life right now, understand that it will pass. And it's hard. It's hard to understand for us that we have seasons in our lives. We have to look at them as seasons, like they come and go in our lives, like summer, spring, autumn, winter. Those kinds, of seasons are what we're used to. But we have seasons where we're down and out. We have seasons where we're depressed. We have seasons where we just, we're just not feeling it. And you know what? Let me tell you something. That's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It is one of those things where we hate being in the okay, not okay zone. But whatever it is, whatever you may be going through, I want you to know that it will pass and you will come away learning. I promise. We all do these things in our lives, go through these things. We do this stuff. Good things, bad things, situations happen, ups, downs, twists, turns. I feel like a broken record. I say the same thing week after week after week, but it is my passion to tell you, to show someone and let them know that, it is okay to not be okay. You have to work on yourself. Whatever you're going through, it doesn't matter. Even if it's good and right now the season in your life makes you happy, maybe you worked for that. Maybe you deserve that. Maybe where you're at right now, it's not a good spot and you don't know what to do to get out of it. Maybe it's a good spot and you know exactly what you did to get in it. That's awesome. If you were in a spot that you wanted to be in and it's all for positive, to make yourself better, to make your situation better, your relationship, whatever it may be, if you are finding yourself in a happy season, God bless you. And may you stay that way. For real. Everybody. I don't care who you are, what you are, race, creed, color, black, white, candy stripe, it doesn't matter. If I see that you are and hear of you, I don't even have to know you, but if I hear a story where you're succeeding and you've done something to get yourself out of a funk, out of depression, out of lower down here, and you put yourself up high, then I think that's awesome. I think it's a very cool thing to pull yourself out of a hole. If you need help, say you need help. And let me tell you something, folks. A lot of people don't ask for help in that form. It does happen. I have asked that way, but a lot of people don't. Instead of, I need help, or will you help me? Sometimes it may be, I'm moving. You want to give me a lift? My car's down there. Call me later. Or, they're reaching out without saying it. That's what a lot of people do. Come over tonight, when you might have been talking that you were going to come over a week, later, or whatever it was. That's what it is. It kind of brings me to my next topic, kind of what I want to talk tonight for 231 weeks now. Doing good, trying. Goals. So tonight I'm going to talk about goals. Let's start off by defining a goal. If you say goals, what do you think of? It's the result or achievement towards which effort is directed or aimed in, It's one of those things that a lot of people don't have goals. If you have a goal and you've stuck with it, whether it's, and I always say stuff like this, whether it's a relationship goal where you wanted it to be better and it was better and you did better, or whether, it was a goal to get out of a relationship, get out of a friendship, stay away from toxic family, get away from the toxic people, whatever the goal was. Most people's goals, when you say things like this and talk this way, most are talking about weight. They set a goal and they reached it. I've done those things. I have set many goals. Some I have not ever, done right with. Some I've done good with. A lot of them I have achieved, but a lot of them I have not. But yes, I even have goals where I sat down and even wrote my goals out on paper, and I looked at, week after week, and it got so hard. I can give you tips, but that's all I can do. Tips to achieve the goals, I guess. You can be, you need to be specific, I'll tell you that. When you're talking to yourself, if you're writing it down, if you're anything like me, when you see it, you remember it better than you do if you heard it, so write it down. These things that work, you got to be specific. There's no point in setting vague goals that don't achieve anything specific. There's no sense in that. Just be specific, be measurable. Once you have that specific goal pinned down and you're writing it down, it's important to be able to measure that success or completion of that goal. I remember losing weight. Everybody's different, okay? Everybody had their own demons. And I remember losing weight, and when people noticed, they noticed, but they didn't say nothing, as it was happening, or, the fat jokes happen, or the big jokes happen, or the sludge or the chubby jokes happen, whatever jokes people used, that had happened to me. And I know some of us are bigger than others, some of us are smaller than others, some of us have this going on, metab, some of that. I don't do that here, but I'm speaking as if we know what society does. So I was getting made fun of. Everybody's bigness, everybody's struggle, everybody's progress is different. That's why you shouldn't make fun of people you don't know. That person that you just called fat, that may be how far they've come, and that's where they're at, and that's where they're struggling. Or you're just seeing them in their progressional stage. You don't make fun of those people. The girl or guy that's too little, what if, they're ripping their hair out because they're trying their best to throw their food up, not gain weight. What if they're trying to gain weight? You don't know the goals that people have set for themselves. But I do know that, like I said, you got to have that specific goal pinned down. And you got to be attainable. It's got to be attainable. Smart goal must be within reach. Some of us have goals to do better. That's like I said, a lot of what we do and our goals that we say come down to everyday simple stuff that we're just not ready. It needs to be relevant, and it's got to be time bound. Set something that like I think long term. I think big picture. When I see things, it's hard for me to even work on construction that I do. It's hard for me, my boss to talk to me, and it's hard sometimes for me to picture what he's saying. But if I could draw a picture, or we can talk, or he's really good actually at giving directions at things, you know, blueprints, if you will, and instructions. So if I listen to him, then I'm like, oh, okay, now I got the big picture. Now I got the big picture. I got to see what I'm building. I can't just build a bunch of parts and go here, 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 here. You know, it was my goal to learn, to do better, and I've tried, and I've succeeded in some things I have, and some fields I have not. In a figuratively or a figurative lead fashion, I was going to say figuratively speaking, a goal is the mission of a person or group. You know what I'm saying? You have to set out to do good. A goal. I'll tell you what. I'll talk about myself for a moment. I said earlier I lost weight. I dealt with setting goals. One of the goals that I achieved, and one of the goals that was really, really, really hard for me, I'll be transparent, and it was smoking. Those who know me know that I smoke, as that saying goes, like a chimney in a haystack. When I smoked, I light one and put the other one and put that one out and light another one. And the more people looked at me and told me, you need to quit that, you need to do that, the more I was like, I'm going to smoke more, I'm going to smoke more, and I'm going to do these things, I remember putting 3 in my mouth one time just because I was ignorant. But that goal of quitting has always been there. But my child comes along at like 4 or 5 years old. Daddy, will you quit? Yeah. So she gave me this bracelet. And my goal was, she's told me that every time I raised my hand up, Daddy, you would see the bracelet. She gave me this one too, but not like any meaning. This is Christ one. But it was an orange bracelet. I got it over there hung up. It's up high. And she said every time you raise your hand up, you'll see the bracelet, and you will. Her goal was to get me to stop smoking. Every time I saw the bracelet, I would be reminded. For 2 years, I wore that bracelet until one day it fell off. Like it literally just fell off. It got so old. And subsequently, when it fell off, I had quit smoking. My goal was to, and did, and succeeded, quit smoking via my child giving me that boost and, staring at that bracelet. And I know that sounds corny, right? That sounds like, oh, that's just you story, Blake, whatever. But it's true. And then I set out, when I set that goal and I accomplished it, and the big help goes to my kid. I felt like there was nothing that I couldn't do. I felt like that was my plan and commitment, and I achieved it, and it was so hard. It took me 2 years, folks. That was my goal. And then I set out for another goal, and it was to lose weight, to work on my body. And I had realized that it took me about 10 minutes, roughly, to smoke a cigarette. And I wanted to see what I can do. I set out on a mission, on a goal to say, I want to see what I can do with my body. It took me 10 minutes to smoke. Let's go 10 minutes of exercise. 10 minutes of curling. 10 minutes of bench. 10 minutes of running. 10 minutes of squat. And, 1 minute doesn't seem like a lot. 60 seconds does not seem like a lot. And I always said that depends on which side of the bathroom door you're on. That's just me, folks. But that 60 turned into, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Before you know it, it was 10 minutes. And then I got eventually where I set out for a goal that I didn't know I was achieving, and I liked it, and I could run for 45 minutes. Things like that, that was my goal. And then I set out with another goal, and another goal, and another goal, and another goal. Now, even if they're baby steps, give yourself, you need that envision, you need to envision that plan it, commit to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Commit to achieve. I set out 3 years ago to quit drinking. Never told anyone. I'll get choked up if I don't watch it. Set out to stop drinking and never told anyone. I battled with stuff. Everything from drinking and driving. Yeah, I said it. Not on the regular, but I had. Fighting, drinking every week. Fighting with people, being hateful. And I mean, it was probably 5 months, 4 or 5 months at least, probably maybe 6, but where I battled personally with that I was drinking too much. Things had happened. And an incident happened, and it opened my eyes up, like big time. And it scared me. I didn't tell no one about what had happened. And maybe a month later, 2 months later, I forget, somewhere there, another incident happened that made me realize that I had been struggling hard, more than I wanted to admit, and more than I had. And I had been struggling for like 8 months. I set out on a goal, blew the goal off like, whatever, forget about it. And it made me think, when I actually went through the time where I knew I had a problem. It made me think hard. It made me realize that I was almost, and had, there was no almost, I had become exactly what I didn't want to become. You might say, now what was that? What did you become? A person that you don't want to become, and then you become that, like you eventually start doing that. It's kind of like, don't hate, because after a while of hating, you become what you hate. I realized that my problem was bigger is what it comes to, folks, and I realized that the goals that I had just blown off is the reason I was where I was, and the goals that I achieved was the next step, the positive things that were happening. I guess all in all, I set out for goals, and you need to, it's basically laying out these lists of goals. It don't make for like a very convincing answer. if you have to explain it to somebody. So you need to like focus on one or two main goals and briefly explain, even if it's to yourself, how you plan on achieving them, or how you will, or how they will benefit you in that long-term thinking. And with me, when these events happened in my life that made me think, that made me realize, you know, you need new goals. This is not, you're not achieving this. If you have to work as a team, do it. I had people helping me, my good friends, people that I called brothers, people that I called beyond family, beyond blood. You might be little, but you're there. That circle may be just very minute. Maybe be the people that I trust, and just maybe my group of friends and list of friends can barely fit through the eye of a needle, but they're there. And they held me accountable, and they helped me, and they boosted me up. I'm telling you right now, if you don't have that, and you're just, get you some friends, be around somebody, read books. I read books. I read a book that got me absolutely soaring and sobbing and thinking exactly what I needed to do in my life. And I never would think that I could tell you that I read a book and it changed my life, but it was the catalyst. You know, you got these goals that you knew I didn't set, but instead they were set before me, and I had to focus on them. You know, I can recap for a moment. I quit smoking, I quit drinking, I quit hanging out with the bad crowds, I quit being around toxic people. And I don't care who they are. Toxic is toxic. Now, if you just disagreed with somebody, toxic, no. If they made you mad, toxic, no. I'm talking truly toxic. All they do is bring people and around them down. Not just bad. I meant bad. Get rid of them. I tried. The best way that you can achieve your goal, if you have these problems, take your pen, take your paper, pencil, whatever you got, even your phone, and type the word SMART in. S-M-A-R-T. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I think you say time. So S is specific, M, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. They allow you to write goals that are clear and attainable and meaningful. You need clarity, folks. I've realized that I needed clarity, and I still need clarity. That doesn't mean that you put on glasses or you clean your eyeballs. It means you literally change your perspective. And that's a hard thing for me to do. I can't speak for everybody, but I have tried and I have done things. I don't need to be known for, but I did things and said things and acted ways and, rewired my brain to things that I thought I'd never say and do. I've helped people, so they say, but yet I hurt inside. I feel inside. I go through depression. I go through the anxiety, to get there, I mean. It was hard. But once again, that clarity that gives you that motivation and that focus, find it. Whatever it may be. When it comes to doing better, I think we all want that, no matter what age you are, as long as you're that age of accountability. We want to do better. People want to know what the next step is. What's the next thing in my life? You got to remember that goals are what we wish to achieve, specific and measurable objectives. Think about it. Whatever you have, your objectives. They called those in school objectives if you had classes, things that counted, things that they were like, oh, they're just in there. And we loved them. We got to choose our objectives. We got to, But when it comes to our lives, they can be focused on short-term or long-term. I was saying that earlier tonight. I think long-term a lot of times. I mean, you can be personal. You can be professional. But that common link to all these goals that we do, that common link is what we do or what we wish to do. Every one of us, if you're setting a goal, that goal's what you do, what you wish to do. If you have a goal, no matter what it is, write it down. Now, I've done these things, so it's only right that I speak on it. So write it down. Write them down. Do what you must to achieve. It's that clear goal. That clear goal can be used as a basis of building a business, a vision, or mission statement, or as well as that short-term, long-term. Write it down, understand it. It's a goal-setting method that stands out amongst all others, but it's specific, achievable, relevant, and that time-bound. So that's what I'm telling you. Remember that right there. Smart. That sounds kind of crazy coming out of my mouth now, but I had wrote down stuff. I wrote down things that I wanted to achieve, and some things I just realized that my goal, what's my best answer, is to make a positive impact. Can't we do that? Can I just contribute to society in a meaningful way? That's what I want to do. I want to give back that way. Because I think I'm just down and out. I just think I'm just a piece of shit. So if I can tell someone, hey, what's your goals in life? Describe your goal. Consider a goal. Give me a realistic goal. Something that you think you can achieve. One that's achievable, manageable with your own current circumstances that is lying before you. Can you do that? I realized enough. The examples of goals. I had a goal to exercise at least 3 times a week. I achieved that. I did some things, worked out, absolutely ran, and didn't change my diet. And I wish I did, because I feel like now I'm just boom, boom, just big, thick. But I wish I was ripped and cut. Now I'll have a goal to do said things. I will get my goal. I will do it. Back when I set the goal and I ran for 5 years almost, I had people writing me. I had people that were literally telling me that they loved what I did. They saw what I did. I helped some people reach their goal. That's where it all came from too, folks. I started making these videos of me running just to say, hey, I'm running. And it was like a diary essentially to myself. And that's where it came from. Inspiring people. Remember that the final goal, write down your goal and choose the goals that inspire, motivate, and challenge you. I like a good challenge. I don't know. I hope you guys are doing fantastic and continue to do fantastic this weekend. Thank you so much. Goals. Write them down. What are those words that I say every week? Do I do every week, week after week after week, that takes us out of the show? Oh, yeah. Love, peace, chicken grease. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, guys. Presentations.